didn't get any kills there, but it seems like there's this new fad where, well, Swag got a kill, but there's this new fad where people keep planting in smoke, and I think Fnatic started doing it out on Inferno, and now we're starting to see it on here as well. But it gets a bomb down, but at the same time, just couldn't capitalize on post plant.
All right, and you see the CZ75 coming out on the back of Skadoodle as we don't see any armor for iBUYPOWER. It looks like they're going to be working their way for an outside take once again, but an early pick by Steel, the laggy mother foe, going to be able to take down Juvenile early in this round, and they do have the bomb plant, so now it's a retake situation for iBUYPOWER for Ronins, as it is a 4 versus 5 in favor of iBUYPOWER right now. Steel taking another one with a nice shot. Cap's going to get in the action. Mospec drops one, trying to even things up here. And the bomb is going to be ticking ever so quickly now, as they are going to be able to pick off another one. They know where AZK is. But where is the other man? He's in the back of the bomb site behind the toxic box. He's going to get taken down. AZK is going to be able to take down Daps, but not before he gets the defuse. So Ronin's a brief scare there that round, but they should be able to buy on the terrorist side now.
Absolutely. dboorn, how are you feeling about this whole smoke plant thing?
Well, essentially they're creating a mini map for themselves to just plant the bomb because the guys from backside can't see them, so the CTs have to push like aggressively out of Z or from back bomb to even get the kill on the bomb planter, and then from that point they're just scattered back trains and just trying to like make a really chaotic round for themselves.
Absolutely, but we do see a full gun round for the first time this matchup, and we are going to see that outside push coming from iBUYPOWER once again. And they are going to be beating that proverbial dead horse early in this matchup. But we do see Dazed and Steel working their way towards inside. Steel holding in the ladder room, and he's going to be coming under no competition just yet. Nice grenade from Juvenile is going to do some good damage onto Skadoodle. Drops him down to 57 points of health. And that's going to be a good beginning to this round because Juvenile is down to 75 himself. And we are going to see that outside push coming from iBUYPOWER now, as here comes Dazed and Steel out from the ladder room. And Mospec holding the bomb train. Juvenile down there in hell, but Mospec's going to get dropped instantaneously by Dazed. And peeking out now is going to be Juvenile. He's able to take down one, but he does get flashed and does get dropped by AZK. So that is going to be a 2-for-1 trade in favor of iBUYPOWER. Make that a 3-for-1 as Swag. Coming out of the Ivy, he's going to be able to pick off one, make that 2. And this round definitely looks like it's going to go in the favor of iBUYPOWER, and Swag actually TKing a little bit onto AZK, but that's okay, because they're going to double peek Daps and drop him. So 2-1 now, iBUYPOWER finally on the board.
So just like you said earlier, dboorn, Swag, we had that one lurker on Ivy. I guess he played a huge role in that, where he got the pick on Ivy on Wabbit and got the kill on the Opper. Do you feel like an op on this map is essential, or do you think rifling is better?
The ops are huge for sure because they're able to like get trade kills from like a far distance, as opposed to like if he had a rifle there, he can't just pick off from backside. But the Ivy guy's job is basically just to stay alive if he can, and like the mid guys do their job first, and then he goes out and gets like that one kill. Ivy pretty much summed up around me.
Absolutely, and we are seeing an eco round from the CT side. Steel able to pick up 3 so far this round. This man standing going to be Daps, and he's going to get taken down. So a relatively uneventful eco round. They aren't able to drop any weapons from iBUYPOWER, so that's not going to cost them a dime. And so you can see they are starting to rack up the money. And we do see the big green coming out on the back of Skadoodle. He's 0-3 right now, but that's surely going to change as he's going to be busting out the op this round, and we're going to see if he can go to work with it.
Yeah, only one CT actually bought a CZ or CV, whichever one, CZ for 79 million. How do you feel about that versus the P250 or the 5.7?
I use the CZ on CT because it's more of like if you're aggro and you catch someone like off guard, it's an instant kill. Like they have no chance with you. But if you're like trying to take over a place, I prefer P250 on C side.
It is an angle holding machine for CT side. I know we talked to Roka a couple of weeks ago. We had him in here and we asked him the same question, and he said the same thing. CT side holding your angles and everything like that, it's amazing for that. But terrorist side, you see a lot of people that go for it on the terrorist side, but they don't really, you know, it's not as functional on the T side as it is on CT side, unless the CTs are getting extremely pushy, and then it's good for holding an angle. But
right.
Once again, we see a relatively uneventful eco round, but iBUYPOWER now taking the first lead of the game, now up 3-2. We are going to see our second full gun round here for Ronins, and we are going to see them teeing off once again. But we haven't seen iBUYPOWER work inside yet this match. Seems to be favoring heavily on the outside bomb site. And so you can see Skadoodle working his way down towards that Ivy lane, and that's going to meet up with Wabbit, and they go to Whiff City. So nobody taking any damage early in this round. We are going to see a little bit of an off battle and some good spam coming from Juvenile. Unfortunately, not able to connect through those smokes, but he is going to take a little bit of damage to Skadoodle. He's going to take down Hades. And now we've got a 4 versus 5 post plant. Make that a 3 versus 4 now back in favor of Ronin's, as Juvenile is able to pick up one and Mossback is able to get in the action as well. And they know right where Juvenile is, and they're going to be able to take him down. So a nice couple of trades coming in as we see Rabbit going to work with the AWP, and Dap's going to be able to drop one as well. And where is Swag? He's coming through the Z-Halls again, that inside flank, and this could certainly catch them. He's going to be able to peek out. He takes down the bomb carrier, and now Wabbit, he's left alone in a 1 versus 1 situation, and he's going to run away and try to save his AWP. So, not a very great round for Ronins. They were able to drop 4 guns and potentially go for it, but some heads-up play from Swag able to solidify that round. 4-2 now for iBUYPOWER.
Yeah, they ran the same round as their pistol. They just had Swag go inside, lurking late, and then they just planted in that smoke. But we saw Skadoodle actually peek out from T middle. Who has the advantage, the terrorist or the CT, when you peek down from T mid down towards Ivy?
Well, you think it's more Peeker's advantage in this game, but I feel like the T has the advantage. But the problem now for Ronin is money control, because those 2 early eco rounds where they lost like 3 or 4 members, it's like gonna loom large right now because IVP is in complete control.
Absolutely, but we do see Wabbit holding on to that AWP from last round. He's able to take one down, and we got Juvenile and Mossback getting aggressive on the T connector, and that's going to do a lot of damage to Swag, already down to 4 points of health. And now AZK finally able to get something in iBUYPOWER's favor this round, as they are able to drop one, but he gets traded out by Mossback, and that's going to make it a 4 versus 2 situation. Swag and Daze, the last 2 remaining, only 104 points of health between the 2 of them. So we are going to see if Daze can put this AWP to action coming out of the ladder room. He's going to have some interesting competition on the other side. You've got Mossback and you've got Juvenile both watching that area, and he's going to get taken down by Mossback. Some nice awareness from him. The last man standing is going to be Swag once again, only 4 points of health, and Wabbit's going to go ahead and take care of that. So Ronin's finally able to get themselves back on the board, and we're going to see if they can take that momentum away from iBUYPOWER.
I think that's the first round that Mossback has actually played on top of the ladder train. When you're playing CT on this map, do you like to push up 3 people towards the mid ladder? Do you like to hold the mid and ladder, or do you like to let them get out of the connector, I guess?
Well, when they get out, the problem you run into is them having proper smokes to just make you irrelevant playing backside. So most part, if you're playing like a decent team, like iBUYPOWER is obviously insane, and knows what they're doing, then you have to actually push up to make it useful.
Alright, once again on the full gun round, Ronin's teeing off against iBUYPOWER, and Skill's going to get the opening frag on this one. Daps and Wabbit going to go to work and trade that. Now we're on a 2 versus 2-2 trade. Make that a 3-2, as AZK is going to be able to drop Hades and make it a 2 versus 3. So we've got Juvenile fast flanking through the ladder hallway. He's got an AWP in his hands. A bomb has been planted at the outside bomb site, and we still have AZK, Skadoodle, and Swag alive for the terrorist side. And a nice peek from Swag is able to Juvenile, but he is going to get legged from underneath of the ladder train. We're going to see this push coming now, but Skadoodle is going to be able to take down Daps, and that's going to leave it all hanging on Juvenile with the AWP. He's able to take down one, but he's only got 12 health points left. And Skadoodle is going to clean that one up. So 5-3, and iBUYPOWER breaking the bank of Ronins right now.
Yeah, it seems like they just can't get a hold of anything. What do you do as a CT to stop these guys from coming up mid?
Well, now that their money's reset, it becomes, and they're obviously on the more dominant side of the map, and so they either decide to force buy, they're going to save here, obviously, and give them 6-3. But as far as what they're doing, they seem to not favor Ivy at all, so their Ivy guy needs to help their mid and ladder guys out a little bit more.
Absolutely, as we saw Wabbit offing down the Ivy lane before, but now we've got an aggressive push from Wabbit all the way up on E-Box right now, and he's going to come into contention with Steel here. He is able to take him down. A little miscommunication there as Juvenile pushed up towards that Hell train as well. And peeking out now, Skadoodle's got to watch out. The whiff is good. Hades finally able to take down Skadoodle with the silent USP and drop that bomb in the ladder room, and that definitely favors Ronins right now, because now iBUYPOWER has got to come and get this bomb. It's a nice play from Hades. He's going to get aim punched to death by Daze, but not before Mossback's able to drop one. And that's going to leave 2 men standing, Dazed and AZK. Dazed only 3 points of health. Mossback has picked up an AK-47, and he is in a position to be able to clutch this round as he is working his way towards the outside bomb site, and that's exactly where iBUYPOWER is. He just spotted one. He knows where one is, and that's Dazed. He's aiming a little bit high, but he's going to be able to take Dazed down with a... Oh, just misses with the grenade. So a nice play from Dazed, smoking himself off and getting himself over towards CT Heaven, and that leaves AZK in the ladder room as well. So some good play coming in from iBUYPOWER to hold on to this round and not get ecoed from Ronins, and they are going to be able to go up 6-3. So a close near miss for iBUYPOWER as they almost got ecoed.
I've seen a lot of ecos go on. Like, ecos are more and more bound to happen, I feel like. So, in an anti-eco situation as a terrorist, is it almost better to group up and take something together? Or is it better to pair up? Or how do you guys do that as terrorists?
My team personally hasn't figured it out. I don't think any team really has. At some point in this game, you almost prefer the other team to have guns than pistols, because if you just are playing versus like CZs and P250s that have no roles and are just lingering around, it gets really chaotic.
So you're saying this the CT just create complete chaos and hopefully win the round?
Yeah, pretty much. Because as far as my team, like if you try to run a default, it turns into one guy tries to work one place. He's like, I'm dinked, he'll fall back. Then like the same comp happens from another portion of the map. Like I'm dinked and he fall back. And at that point, you're just making an educated guess, trying to get lucky at it, like rushing towards the site.
Gotcha. All right. Well, we are seeing Ronins again on the buy. M4s across the board. An AK in the hands of Daps and an AWP in the hands of Wabbit once again. As we see Dazed actually harassing the inside bomb site, and this is the first time that we've really seen anybody work their way towards the Brown Halls that wasn't lurking. Speaking about Swag for the last couple of rounds, seems to be his role on this team is to be the lurk-a-dirk, so to speak. And Daps actually being held nicely, and Wabbit up there in the CT heaven. He's going to have some contention with AZK here in just a second. Spot for toe, misses the shot, and he is going to be working for that pick. You see sitting back, Steel going to open things up though on a Mossbeck, and now we've got a quick 2-2 trade as Swag's going to drop one as well. Skadoodle with the AWP is going to take down the off of Wabbit up there in the CT heaven, and we see Hades working his way around the I want to call it the 4 lane because that's what it was in 1.6, but you know I gotta call it, what is that, 8-1. Swag going to take a lot of damage over there towards the sandwich, and we are going to see a potential retake as it is a 2 versus 2 situation right now. Skadoodle with the AWP in hand. He is going to be looking for Hades right around the corner, and he is going to pick him off. So it is going to be a 1 versus 2. Swag, very low HP right now, but he's playing this extremely smart, not getting peeky or anything, waiting for that tap, but Skadoodle is going to be able to clean up taps. 7-3 now, iBUYPOWER on fire early in this match.
Do you almost want to gamble as a CT to pull Juvenile off B and almost kind of stack 5 outside? Because they haven't been inside, I don't think. They didn't put the bomb inside one round.
At this point, you would think so. Like, as far as my team, we play iBUYPOWER, obviously, like, we're going to have to take some risks in order to beat them and win a couple pistol rounds. So, you know, if you stack, like, one place and they end up going the other way, I wouldn't even attempt to retake, just kind of save and bank on the next round. But the problem now is, like, iBUYPOWER is playing, like, a lot of post-plant situations, like, really smart. And Ronin5, when they play outer, they're more challenging 1v1 battles. You don't see many, like, people teaming up on one person from iBUYPOWER, and they just lose those battles.
Alright, well, so far uneventful ego round. The bomb actually planted in the inside bomb site. We were actually just talking about that. Still trying to find one on Mossbeck, not able to connect. He's going to get taken down, and the nice nade's going to drop Mossbeck down to 2 points of health, and Swag able to take him down. So 8-3 now, and it's been all iBUYPOWER, except for the 7th round of this half, and the pistol round and the subsequent eco afterwards. It's just been all iBUYPOWER so far.
I feel like Train's one of those maps where once you get the ball rolling and you get a lot of money, correct me if I'm wrong, but like you said, with the snipers and the long range on this map, once you get money and you keep rolling with the money, then it's a lot easier to ball these rounds up together and kind of snowball it in a way.
Yeah, CSGO is a lot about money control, but this map especially.
All right, and it looks like we're actually going to have iBUYPOWER's first attempt at an inside take here in just a second. As you see, 3 members in the bomb have worked their way down into the hallways. That's going to be Swag and Skadoodle and Dazed. Actually, Skadoodle is an Ivy. Who is that? Steel. That's who it was. The other S. And they are going to be working their way in. Dap's going to be at the point of contention. He's going to get taken down. Hades able to take down AZK before that trade happened. So a 1-for-1 to start this round off, but you can see Steel and Dazed very low on their HP. 100 across the board for everybody else on the CT side. So the bomb has been planted at the inside bomb site. We are going to be seeing that 4 versus 4 retake coming in from Ronins, as they are able to take down one. Nice shot from Steel, able to drop Hades. He's going to be looking for more, but Juvenile is going to be able to take him down. And now we are on a 2 versus 2. Make that a 1 versus 1. The AWP versus the AWP. Who's going to win this battle? Is it Skadoodle versus Wabbit? Skadoodle getting up on top of the Pop Dog train. And they're playing some serious ring around the rosy. And here comes the silent USP. Wabbit's able to take him down, but does he have time for the defuse? I don't think he does. All right, there you go. 9-3 now. iBUYPOWER working the intertake that time.
Yeah, they finally did that. But it seemed like almost that Ronin5 should have known they weren't going outside because of the lack of terrorists that were outside. No more flashes, no smokes or anything like that. It seemed kind of obvious to me, but then again, Ronin5 is probably pretty scared of terrorists taking outside.
Well, what happened was they're like really hesitant to retake initially because they're so weary of Swag like flanking and what he did early in the half. So they take a while to try to find him, and once he's not there, if they miss presence early on, then they just have no time at the end of the round.
All right, and we see a 2-for-1 early trade in this round as Juvenile and Hades both get dispatched by AZK, and AZK going to be able to get dropped as well, but Swag's going to open things up again. As we see Wabbit getting aggressive near that T-Con. He's going to be able to take down one. Peeks out quickly, but Skadoodle with the 180. Going to be able to take him down with a nice AWP headshot. Skadoodle, he's been playing some exceptional CS in the past couple of matches that we've watched of iBUYPOWER's.
If you're Ronin5 right now and you're telling your teammates something, what are you telling them to motivate them to get these last few rounds? Like, what do you say to pick up your team? And how do you get them to not fight with each other, I guess, in a way, because they're, they're so down and out?
Well, what I've noticed in CSGO, like some matches will look like it's like complete rape for a while, like 10-3 right now, but say they pick up the next two, it's 10-5, they pick up T-Pistol, it's 10-8, just like that. So things can turn really quickly in this game.
Absolutely, but once again we see iBUYPOWER attempting to abuse that outside bomb site, but Mossback and Dazed going to be traded early in this round. Now it's a 4 versus 2. And that just happened instantaneously as Daps and Juvenile both get dropped. Swag and Skadoodle going to work. We see one member left outside that steal. He's going to get a nice headshot onto Wabbit. And that's going to make it a 1 versus 4 situation. Surely this is going to be iBUYPOWER's round. Going to go up to a score of 11-3. It's Mossback able to catch Swag. But he's got a lot of work ahead of him this round if he wants to clutch this. So we're going to see if he's going to try to save his gun. And that looks like what he wants to do in this situation. But steal right on the other side of the wall. And he's going to get pushy now. Mossback going to get the better of that one. So he has taken down 2, actually 3 this round. And unfortunately, he's not going to be able to win this one. So looking at an 11-3 scoreline. Mossback with a 4th frag. Skadoodle going to hightail it out of there and save and T-spawn. So 11-3 in favor of iBUYPOWER now. And they are definitely running away with this one very early in this matchup.
Yeah, it just seems like they're overwhelming them in every situation. Mossback has quite a few kills, but still, they just can't tie these kills together and pick up any rounds. But I don't know. What's your your halftime speech, I guess, to get your team to get up and get ready to play this next half?
Well, right now, iBUYPOWER is just skill abusing right now. And what happens with a team like the really, really top teams, what you'll notice is really evident is they trade kills. And that's exactly what they're doing to Ronin5. Like, it'll be 1 kill here, but like they trade 1 for 1, and that's obviously T-favored.
Alrighty, once again abusing that outside. AZK going to drop 2 early in this round. Steel going to get in the action as well. Dab's going to be in that CC connector. Wabbit's going to be able to take one down, and he's going to get taken down by Steel as well. So 12-3. Wow, iBUYPOWER lighting up Ronins right now. Alrighty guys, we are live in the second half pistol round. Once again, iBUYPOWER now on the CT side. That's Dazed, Skadoodle, AZK, Swag, and Steel. Facing off against Ronins, that's Wabbit, Hades, Juvenile, Mossback, and Daps. And they are going to go for the fast inside push with the Glocks in hand. And we haven't seen anybody fall just yet, but we are going to see a lot of damage dished out early. Wabbit down to 10 HP, AZK down to only 38 points of health, 36 points of health now. But he is going to be able to pick up a kill. We are going to see, can they get the defuse? Are they actually on it? They weren't actually on it. I thought they were on it in the smoke. Using Swag with the PK and spamming through. Finally able to take down Steel. And that was a really close one.
It seemed like iBUYPOWER was content with retaking Enter that round and stacking outer, and it worked to Ronin5 because they did an outside fake into inside, so they were already drawn off by their aggro outside take.
Absolutely. So the fast inside push, and that's the first time in this matchup that we've actually seen a fast inside take by one of the teams. So seeing it on the pistol round, and that's exactly what Ronins needed to get their momentum started and sparked on their terrorist side, because things are going to be a very, very heavy uphill battle right now as they are down by 8 rounds. Juvenile, he's going to open things up onto Steel, and the CTs are going to be on the saving side, but we see, like you said, the 3 CZ75s in the hands of iBUYPOWER right now. And Juvenile is going to go ahead and drop a second one outside. And that's surely going to pull the rotate off of Enter. Maybe not, but it does look like they are going to commit to the outside bomb site. That's going to leave 3 members of iBUYPOWER sitting inside with those CZ75s. And I'm actually looking through the eyes of them right now just to see what kind of a setup that they had, because, 36 bullets apiece, just stacked up there on a corner looking to spray down and decimate an incoming rush, but unfortunately it didn't come. So the bomb is planted on the outside bomb site, and that's basically going to solidify this round for Ronins, as they are going to get the 5th round for themselves, and 12-5 is going to be your scoreline. And hopefully they can pick up some momentum here and run with it, because they are definitely big time in the hole. So what did you think about that round?
Yeah, I mean, if you're trying to mount a comeback, these are like the really dangerous rounds you have to be careful of, because even if they don't win the round, if they get a couple kills here and there, they're starting to get money control, and it also correlates with you losing money control. So having clean rounds like this are really big for a comeback.
Absolutely, I couldn't have said it better myself. So once again, we are going to see iBUYPOWER on the save as they pick up another CZ75 now in the hands of Steel. And we're going to see if they can get anything in their favor, as they are still leading by 7 rounds. Ronin struggling to hold on to this one. But iBUYPOWER is still with a huge lead, and we are going to see Juvenile once again working his way towards that T connector, and he is going to be flashing for his teammates coming out through that ladder room. So we are going to see a quick outside push. Swag with the CZ75 pushing up close on Hell. He's got support from Steel, and they might be able to catch Juvenile here if they're not careful. The bomb did not come out from the ladder room. The flash just allowed 1 member to come out. That was your 9-man Mossback. Hades, he's going to get peeked here, and actually is going to get taken down. So a 1-for-1 trade early in this round, and a nice push coming from the inner lower area. And Dave's able to take one down. Swag gets one. Skadoodle is going to drop one, and that's going to leave a 3 versus 1 for Mossback now. AK-47, actually Galil in hand for him, but he's got a lot of work ahead of him, as they have picked up a Galil and an AK-47, and he's got AZK right on the other side of the smoke to contend with. And the bomb has been dropped, so this is going to be a very, very crucial round for Ronins. They need to win this to avoid breaking the bank and allowing iBUYPOWER to get themselves back into this one. So AZK in a prime position here. Mossback is going to be able to spot him and is going to be able to take him down. So it is going to be a 2 versus 1 now. Swag with the AK-47, ever so lethal, and Skadoodle with the CZ75 still in hand. And if Mossback tries to come down lower and get that bomb, he's going to come right into the pistol of Skadoodle. So this is going to be a very dangerous play. He is able to run down and get the bomb, but Skadoodle is going to clean it up, and that's going to be an eco for iBUYPOWER as Mossback is dropped. So 13-5, and iBUYPOWER, they will be able to buy this round, but that's not the beginning of this half that they were looking for.
Yeah, case in point there, just a lot of collateral damage in the brown hulls with the CZs, and at this point, Ronin5 is just buying to either salvage the match and also to reset iBUYPOWER's money, not let them get too far ahead in money control.
Absolutely, but we do see the green once again on the back of Skadoodle, and I figured we might see AZK bust out the auto sniper, because I know iBUYPOWER in the past has gone for that off auto sniper double on their CT side of train. So unfortunately that's not the case just yet, but we are going to see that outside push coming from Ronins as they have taken towards the outside. Steel able to drop one. Daze now in the CT heaven. He's going to be falling back now, but he is going to get taken down with Daze. And Steel once again opening things up onto Hades. Wabbit's going to be able to answer back finally on him and silence him. They still have 2 members outside to contend with. That's going to be Swag and Skadoodle. And they also have 1 member pushing towards that ladder room. And that's going to be AZK. And he's going to throw a flash down and see if he can't pick off this guy that's sitting down right underneath of him. That's going to be Wabbit, and the rotation is going to be coming very, very shortly. Unfortunately, just not yet, but he is going to be able to peek out and does take him down. So we are on a 2 versus 2. Make that a 1 versus 2. And Daps only 4 points of health. AZK coming in huge this round. 14-5 is going to be your scoreline. iBUYPOWER just walking all over Ronins.
Yeah, the round there was the patience of AZK above ladder, not initially going down the ladder because it would have been a free kill for Wabbit and it would have been a 3v2 in favor of the T's. But instead, he let his teammates kind of poke around outside and figure out where they're at, and then from there, he just took that information and went down ladder after that.
Yep, and you can actually see he is the top fragger in the server. Him and, surprisingly enough, Mossback, or Landback as a lot of people like to call him, up there with 19 and 12 to match AZK's 19 and 11. But we are going to be seeing that 14-5 scoreline in iBUYPOWER. They're looking to go up on tie point right now, and it's going to be a very crucial round for Ronins. If they want to stay alive in this matchup, they have to win this round. They have to break the bank of iBUYPOWER. And that's not the way you want to start it. Hades getting taken down early by Swag. And here comes the push towards the inside bomb site, and that's going to be all on AZK. Dave in the Z connector is going to be completely blind. But they don't realize AZK is flanking them. Wabbit going to be able to put a little bit of damage onto him before he gets taken out. He's got one member, that's Juvenile. Beautiful frag from AZK, and he is absolutely lighting them up in the second half. Doing some sensational work for his team. Now it's a 2 versus 4, making that TK by Swag, but he's going to be able to take down Mossbeck as well, and that's going to be it. So now we are going to be on match point in favor of iBUYPOWER, now up 10 rounds on Ronins, and that definitely is not spelling positive vibes Ronin's way.
Yeah, AZK just playing mistake for ECS. Like, your job as the enter player is to just spot and stay alive, and that's exactly what he did. If he gives them that pick, they're able to progress and push up on them before they can rotate out of Z, but he delayed enough for rotation, and from there it was just a route.
Totally, dude. Like, totally. So we are going to see the desperation buy from Ronins. Galil's across the board. Not a whole lot of nades to work with, and it does look like they're going to be going up into the White Halls once again this round. As we see AZK spotting for feet, he's going to be throwing that smoke grenade. And he's just patiently waiting, and I'm actually hanging tight in the eyes of AZK because it does look like it's going to be a potential inner hit once again coming from Ronins. And he has been lighting them up the past couple of times that they've come towards this inside bomb site, with the exception of the pistol round in second half. So we are going to see the counter flashes come in, and he is going to get aggressive on the sidewalk, and he has pushed up by the Pop Dog. Unfortunately, this time playing a little bit too aggressive, and he is going to get picked off. So AZK goes down at the hands of Juvenile, and this is a good start for Ronins. So they are able to infiltrate and get the bomb down, but Dave's going to answer back. Now we've got a 1-for-1, 4 versus 4 situation, and that's going to leave Juvenile and AZK out of this one. As the bomb is on the back of Mossback, and he is trapped in the back of Pop Dog. As once again you see the trades happening. Wabbit onto Steel, Dazed onto Hades, Swag onto Wabbit. And now that's going to leave 2 men inside. Skadoodle's going to be able to AWP down Mossback, and that's going to leave it all on Daps. And he's got to come up absolutely huge if he wants to salvage this matchup. He's got 30 seconds to work with, and he's pushed his way up towards the backside of the inside bomb site. That's going to leave Skadoodle right around the corner, and he's going to be able to get taken down by Dazed. So that's going to be all she wrote. 16-5 in favor of iBUYPOWER. And they came up absolutely huge in this matchup.
Yeah, Ronin5 ended up winning both pistols, but it's still 16-5.
Those were the only rounds they got, with the exception of one auxiliary round in the first half.
And iBUYPOWER will take that round too, because it was a money reset since they won the following round.
Mm-hmm. Now, I know it's not something that you can actually script in a live matchup that you're playing an invite against other, well-rehearsed players, but the occasional round trade, your team is playing exceptionally well, very dominant CS, the other team is struggling. Do you allow them to win a round so you can force the money reset?
I don't think anyone would ever like purposely give up a round, but they're not going to be against losing it, as long as, even if you don't win the following round, if you're able to save out and get a lot of their guns and just keep harping on their money and eventually making them double save, I think teams will always be down for that.
Gotcha. Well, that's some interesting stuff. David, welcome back. Asem, you too. You got anything to say?
Eating your words, Megaman. Going with Ronin. They're not doing too much for you.
Yeah, I'm glad that I didn't bet any skins.
Fair enough. All right. dboorn, how'd you feel about it?
Going in, it seemed like everyone preferred Ronin5 in that match, maybe because of the value on the Go Lounge, but And plus, they get to start CT side train. And obviously, right now with all the roster changes in Invite, like I think 7 out of 9 teams have changed their rosters. So obviously, for lack of a better term, the lower tier teams, I include my team in that. It's like everyone outside of iBUYPOWER and Cole. I feel like now is the time that teams are able to beat them until they're well prepared and practiced. So obviously, my team got a chance to play both teams. When they're kind of changing rosters and they aren't that prepared. And I thought the match would be like a little closer than it actually was, but I wasn't surprised by the outcome at all.
What do you think was Ronin5's downfall?
Just being okay with 1v1ing iBUYPOWER in every spot that they were in. Never was it like they would always trade 1 for 1 kill, and teams will always take that trade if they can take over a site and like end up smoking off choke points.
So you're saying perhaps they should have worked more as a team on their CT side as well as T side.
Yeah, and that's obviously third person. Like if I'm in the game, like I don't see everything that they're doing, but it seemed like iBUYPOWER had a good control of at least keeping Ronin honest at Ivy, and then 1v1ing their team mid and ladder guy, and keeping the Z guy kind of not knowing where to go.
How many times did we see iBUYPOWER go in? That was only once or twice, right?
Inside, yeah, but the main thing was early on, Swag would let them know
Lurk
that he's
through.
flanking. Yeah, and then like later in the half, they were hesitant to retake sites because they would try to find him first, and then eventually he would just be in the site with them, so it was irrelevant.
Obviously, with the big win for iBUYPOWER, 16-5, a huge scoreline. But did you see any flaws with them, really? Obviously, not too many. But was there anything at all I said maybe they could tweak this a little bit?
Well, see, there's going to be lack of practice for the time being, since they just made their team and Steel's obviously in Europe. But once he's back, I mean, I don't see them. They're never going to get worse. They're just going to keep improving.
Absolutely. So a nice win for iBUYPOWER over Ronins, pushing their score now in Invite to 5-2. And that's going to tie them up in the lead with Ronins as well, as they are 5-2 in Invite as well. So we will be seeing the remainder of the season play out, and things are actually getting interesting because what is it? Complexity is 2-4 right now?
I believe something like that. Not doing too hot.
Not doing too hot. They basically
Guys,
have to win out in order to
we got
solidify
Dave
their
coming
lane
in.
berth. What's that?
We got Days coming in for a post game interview.
Oh boy. So we're gonna see what he has to say. Yeah, we pretty much dominated them, and fuck. There you go. I'm just kidding. He probably would never say anything like that. Then again, I don't know the guy, so we'll see. It'll be fun to actually see how he feels about bringing Steel back to the roster and picking up Swag, because personally for me, I think that's two of the biggest roster changes in Invite. And Derek, I can actually ask you this question. Do you think which one of the two teams between Complexity and iBUYPOWER made out better in that trade of players between Anger and Swag? Which one do you think is going to come out on top? Which one do you think actually benefits the most from that trade?
Well, initially, I didn't think it was like that drastic either way. Like one way, or another. I didn't think one team benefited that much from it than the other. But after seeing like iBUYPOWER play, and I've told this to Days too, I don't think he's like a natural leader. I think he's more forced into the role. He's more of like he likes to make plays, and he's more of like a mid game like adapter, as opposed to just leading everyone and kind of babysitting across the map. So bringing Steel in kind of eliminates that factor for them and lets him kind of have more freedom on like what he's comfortable doing and likes to do. And then as far as Cole goes, I haven't seen them play too much with their new roster. They haven't really started practicing yet, so I can't really give an opinion on that front.
Well, Complexity got slaughtered the one night.
All right,
Who was
guys.
that? That was on season, I think.
Days, unfortunately, didn't have TeamSpeak, and Steel offered to step up in his place. So Steel has arrived. Steel, how you doing, man?
Not too bad. What's up, big guy?
The European sensation in the house.
You know it.
Obviously, my first question is going to be, what is it like to play ESEA Invite with 140 ping?
It's not that easy. Luckily, some teams like to be nice and give us the Chicago server where I only have between 100 and 120 ping. That's manageable. But playing on Texas and Colorado is definitely not fun, as basically your bullets get absorbed into the internet. So I'm really happy that some of the teams are opting to actually play us on Chicago servers.
Excellent, excellent. So I know we can kind of say you're the new acquisition of iBUYPOWER, even though you go way back with Dazed, all the way back to the not Team Dynamic days, but the CS Source days.
Yeah, I played on Twerked and Check 6 and stuff with Days, but I played on Dynamic with AZK before I played with Days, actually.
Right. So it's like a culmination of two powerhouse source teams smashing themselves together now. And then they also picked up Swag. And I was actually just reading there was an ESEA post on there that says Steele says that Swag fits in perfectly with the team. What is it like? Because you know that he's like the up and coming rising star. A lot of people are putting him as saying that he's the best player, the best fragger in North American CS right now. What is it like to be on a team with such a hot young talent? Like, does he know basically everything he needs to know? Have you guys been able to teach him stuff? Has he been teaching you guys some new stuff as well? Like, I'm not saying give away any secrets now,
Yeah.
but
I'm sure like we share a bit of philosophy, but I pick things up like when I see him playing and I see him he's really good with his movement, for example, then I'll go and I'll try to use that movement myself and kind of expand my repertoire for just my ability to play the game. And I'm sure everyone picks it up from each other, consciously or unconsciously. So it is nice to have that kind of new guy in the team where you can actually learn things off of them instead of playing with the same people over and over again. Now, in terms of like pure aiming, I mean, we got Skadoodle too, and Skadoodle is the best doodle, you know?
oh wow, you totally went there.
What?
He did.
Skadoodle, best doodle.
He did hit some nasty op frags on that match tonight. I believe there was one where I think it was I want to say it was Wabbit was pushing up aggressively towards T-Con, and he just whipped a 180 from ladder train, railed him in the face. And I
You know
saw
what?
it from Wabbit's point of view, and it was just completely nasty. And he
Some-
does it all the time.
Yeah, sometimes Wabbit just needs to expect the unexpected, you know? Like, you're rushing against the Skadoodle, he's gonna whip around and shoot you in the head. You gotta be prepared for that, and you gotta be able to dodge bullets.
You got to be able to Neo it.
Exactly.
Gotcha. So, I know a question that's on a lot of people's minds. When are you making your trek back to the
April
North
23rd.
American scene? So April 23rd, couple of weeks away. Are you going to be excited about it?
Yeah. I guess.
Yes.
Are you like, I guess maybe Megaman, are you excited to be back in the States?
Well, I'll be in Canada, but
Oh, that works too.
That's-
I mean, it should
Might
be
as well be started state.
it should be good. Like I've been away for like a year and a half, almost even 2 years. I'll have a new place to live in. It's gonna be a nice big one bedroom condo, so it's gonna be nice to kind of live back in my old city on my own, which is something that I wasn't able to do in Toronto before I moved away. And I don't know, I'm taking back with me a whole bunch of experiences, new friendships, all sorts of things. Like I've had a great time in Europe, Germany and England. So yeah, it should be good. Like it's, I guess, a new start, a new beginning, a new era, and gonna be spending a lot of time playing CS, fortunately.
Well, I mean, at least then you won't have 120 ping.
Yeah, I'll be able to play 10 mans and not rage incessantly on my stream and have people unfollow me.
It's the worst, right? So, what's it like playing with Dazed again? Because I know that there was a segment in time, and people have talked about it, where there was a little bit of bad blood between you guys, and obviously you've patched things up. So, is it refreshing to play with your old friend again?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people don't really know exactly what kind of went down. Like I've heard different rumors, and I'm like, where the fuck did they make that theory up from? It's completely fine. Like, I guess we just go in, we have slightly different philosophies on the gameplay, and then we kind of just take the best of both worlds, throw them together, and then just give each other input. So if I'm calling something and then he sees something else, then he can just kind of step in and give a suggestion, and then we roll with that. And it's the situation we say to each other, like, this is how it's going to go down. Like, I'll be calling the shots, but he's going to be giving input. Like, as long as we know that this is kind of the dynamic that we're having going on, like, none of us are going to get angry at each other for kind of making a decision and having it not work out. Like, this is what we're kind of like trying to employ, a different type of kind of approach to the game. And no, it's things are going great. We're doing well on T side, on most of the maps. We still have a few more maps to go over, but everything's looking like it's falling into place properly now. And I'm glad to be back on a top squad again.
Absolutely. And we noticed we actually casted. We had over 3,000 people watching this match for you guys tonight, which is totally awesome, and that's a new record for our channel. But
We were number one on Twitch.
nice.
For
We
CS:GO.
also we did the complexity iBUYPOWER, the nuke match that was postponed for like 47 weeks that you guys finally played this past week. And we did that one and hit 2,700 viewers. But that was a good match, and it was crazy because it was like the comeback was real.
The comeback was real.
You guys were
And-
only down 10-5 at the half, which is that's a damn good half for T-side, regardless, especially like you look at international teams and things like that. And then you just carried that momentum over and just obliterated them in the second half. And from that moment on, I definitely, took a little more notice, a little more stake in the iBUYPOWER team, because I was like, all right, they did the roster swap and everything. They're probably going to be a little bit rusty for a little bit as they try to get everybody in their, in their role and figuring out what their strengths are and how to use them properly. But then you came into this match and just slaughtered Ronins. And
Yeah,
it was
just-
just, all right, they're good.
Just call us resilient gamers, Like we're losing against Complexity. We're like down 2-9 on our T side of Nuke, and I had 150 ping, so I was already like moy before the game even went live. I was like mentally out of it. It was just not a good thing. And
Slightly
then,
agitated, would you say?
yeah, I mean it was a Colorado server. I had 150 ping. I shot people 10 times in the back of the head. They didn't die. They flicked around and shot me in the head, and I died around a corner. Like it's wanted. I was kind of like getting really upset. But then we had a few like individual plays which kind of brought us up a few rounds. We got 5 rounds, and then from there on, we kind of picked up the momentum. We lost the pistol in the second half. Right there, it's just like, fuck. But then we made a huge team play on the next round. We brought ourselves back in the game, and then from there on, we just kept the momentum and went forward.
Gotcha. Well, is there any questions that anybody else wants to ask, or is there anybody in the Twitch stream that would like to ask Steele a question as he is joining us for a little bit at least?
Or
know that
dboorn
there's
too. We still got dboorn in here.
Oh yeah, nobody cares about that guy.
Whoa.
dboorn, do you have any questions for Steele?
No, man, I'm a fan. I just watch and learn.
The Source
actually,
legend and the 1.6 legend
Yeah, really,
meeting for
it's
the
like
first
the top
time,
of-
maybe.
Top of each game. Actually, this would be great to ask you both. I mean, we've asked pretty much every guest that's come on this question, but how do you see it being? Is that now the top? I mean, like I said, you guys are great examples. The top of 1.6 and top of Source have come into one game to face each other, and to compete, see who's the best. How do you think that adds to the overall competition? And, it gives, you can't have Source for 1.6 players, debating on which is the better game or which takes more skill. They're both in an even playing ground, and how do you think, it's like a 2-part question. And how do you think 1.6 or Source players are faring compared to the other?
It's just the games, you have to have a different philosophy when you're playing them. People that have a philosophy that kind of translates well to CSGO be the better players, obviously, unless you kind of change your entire playstyle, which is possible. I mean, you see some players that were in the top of 1.6 that can't do anything in CSGO. You see people that were at the bottom, like, main players in 1.6 as well as Source that are now like completely smashing through. I think Freiburg's a prime example of a player that wasn't really at, the highest echelon of Source, and now he's on NIP, like the best team in CSGO for 2 years straight. Like, it's just people have different playstyles, different philosophies toward the game, and it's not necessarily a 1.6 versus Source thing. It's a completely new game where people who have 1.6 and Source experience kind of have a head start, but they're not going to automatically retain that advantage.
Gotcha. We actually have a nice question out here. Big Papa 59 asked Steele, how are you going to improve your team's pistol strats? Because it seems like it's one area for improvement. Considering that you guys actually lost both of the pistol rounds in that matchup. What kind of things are you going to do to actually adapt and improve your pistol round strats? Now, people need to keep in mind that obviously this roster is new. It's only a couple of weeks that you guys have been able to play together, and still setting up things and playing to people's strengths. But is that something that you guys consider going back and looking at now, because you did lose both of the pistols? Maybe your setups were wrong, your positioning wasn't correct, or they pushed an area that you didn't expect them to push, how are you going to adapt in the future?
Well, yeah, actually, what we did is we said to each other like we have a 0% success rate on pistol rounds. What we're gonna do is we're not gonna buy anything on pistol rounds from now on. And since we always win the eco rounds, what we're gonna do is full save on the pistol round and then just buy on second round and then go from there. You know, just like 0-1 down and just go from there. You know.
All right, you got a guy in the chat, Ginger Stats. He said, not a question, but Steel is hands down the best in North America fanboy right here. So if you want to give him a shout out or something, I don't know. Ginger
Nice.
Stats.
Thanks, Ginger Stats, man.
There you go. We had another question that said, what's your favorite skin?
Well, I wanted to hear.
My Nightbrand 4 is next gen, dude. Factory
Next
new. I got an
gen.
iBUYPOWER sticker on there, man. It's looking.
Oh,
it's
you
looking
were
pretty
you were
crisp,
asking.
man.
I saw you posted in the thread the one time.
I-
Does anybody
I
have an
s-
iBUYPOWER sticker
Yeah.
that I can
I
put on my M4?
I sold my Guardian skin and I bought a Nitro M4 and then I bought a sticker
There you go.
and I
There you
mounted
go.
that shiz.
I did want to hear dboorn's response to the question I asked.
I mean, I don't think I personally in my team I don't think reviews like 1.6 in source like in any regard to this game. I think it's just a different mindset, it's a different game. Like the transition I think comes from just being able to accept it's a different game. And obviously you can apply like your game sense and you know how you like your mindsets on how you want to play CS. But when you view this game, if you try to like bring things you did in that game, not like that were successful, they're not always going to work.
How do you guys feel that, you know, I mean, even though I know you guys are not on the team, but, you know, Complexity, supposedly, you know, one of the best teams in NA, is 2-4 in Invite right now in 7th place in the league. Do you think
That's a
that's going to
shame.
change? Yeah. Do you think that's going to change? Do you think they're going to, I mean, I'm thinking that their recent loss was, you know, or their loss to Ronin5 was a wake-up call, though they did lose to Netcode right after that as well. But, you know, do you think that they have what it takes to shake off this whole roster issue? And, you know, obviously, I'm not going to ask you who do you think benefited because you're going to have a little bit of bias there, Josh. But when it comes to, you know, this whole roster shakeup in Invite, you know, do you think Complexity, the once great, has what it takes, or you think they're done?
I mean, they had a rough start. That's like completely fair to say, but we're looking at we're not even halfway through the season just yet. Like we're about to be, but you know they've only played 6 games. They have another 10 more games to go. Let's say they win 8 of those in a row. It's like they're back in contention. We can't rule them out. They're still, you know, one of the top 2 teams in North America. They're going to bounce back, and all they have to do is kind of they've just run out of, I guess, lifelines. They can't afford to make mistakes anymore. They've run out of those for the season, but I mean, they're still capable of bringing it back and getting back into the playoff contention, albeit not with a good seed, but they'll be able to do it.
Yeah, I think like their goal shouldn't at this point is not 1 or 2 seeds just to make LAN, and obviously it'd be a shame if they didn't make LAN. But take into account that they've never been a great team on season, so they dropped 2 season matches. They dropped their iBUYPOWER match, which is obviously a toss up anytime the 2 play. So although they're probably disappointed with their record, it's not. I don't think it's unusual for them to start slow in ESEA.
If I could just allude to, there was a season where Days was banned from my team in ESEA. It was like season 6 or 7 of Source, and we were down we're out of playoff contention basically. We needed to win out like 6 games in a row type of thing, and that's when I picked up Neil, also known as Monty, and Ryan, and we were just gonna like pug out the season basically just so the roster spot wouldn't die. We ended up winning that ESEA LAN with some like pickup squad, just, you know, coming in with 6 losses already or 8 losses, whatever we're at. So anything's possible. The teams can always bounce back. It's never too late as long as they aren't like at 10 losses right now. I think we'll see them at the LAN.
Oh, I'm sure they might be down, but they're certainly not out. I don't really have any other questions for Steel or dboorn at the moment, so I don't know what you guys want to do.
Well, I have one that feel free to not complete comment if you're not sure. All right, do any of you guys plan on attending the the GoRGN Vegas Open 10K? in July with your teams or with a pug or something?
Definitely consider it. Don't know if we'd be going as a full team. If we're not, it would just depend on how much the flight costs for me, and then I'd make the decision. But I haven't spoken about it with my team just yet.
Yeah, same for me. There's obviously interest there, but as a team, we haven't really spoken about it either.
No, we got plenty of time. But yeah, it's supposed it's going to be a great competition. But let's get back on. Yeah, I'm about out of questions. To give the chat a little bit more to ask any questions, and I'm just gonna take this time though real quick. Thank you guys so much for coming on. dboorn being with us the whole time, and Steel Take coming on for a post game interview.
Yep.
Like we said, I wish.
What are the plans for iBUYPOWER in the future? Well, I assume win matches and then win tournaments, but that's just my opinion. I'm not actually
nailed
on the
it.
roster.
You
Is that
have
what
nailed
it is?
it.
Did I get it?
I believe that's what we're aiming for. I don't think we're aiming to like lose or anything like that.
Did I win the Nitro skin?
No.
Damn it.
Although I think I bet my other Nitro skin on myself tonight. Is that even like?
Can
Should
you
I
do
even be
that?
allowed?
Yeah, that's kinda...
Oh. Yeah, people. Well, that was a big thing. A lot of people gave Forest. They were sending NIP members death threats for losing them skins.
Yeah. Well, shit happens.
They were like,
you know?
"Oh, they're betting on the other team and shit," and it's just a completely ludicrous thing. Because teams in the international scene, especially in the big frag bite tournaments and stuff, are throwing matches for fucking CS skins.
Yeah, I don't understand why people think that it's CS. Like rock paper scissors, man. You never know what's gonna happen.
Well, yeah,
Flip a coin, bet on that team, because honestly, half the time it is a 50-50 coin toss.
Especially online, but even LAN too. But that brings a good point. With the skins, how do you guys think about the whole skins as a factor? And do you think it adds any bit of competitiveness? And also this whole, we just brought up NIP getting sent death threats, but
what do people think happened? Like Nip went to the finals of EMS 1 and then bet skins on Virtus Pro. Like fucking hell, man! It's 50 grand that they lost in the finals there, and then they come home and lose a few games. Like, what do you expect? They're gonna be in a poor mental state. Like they just lost finals. They're gonna be kind of like shaken up a bit. Shit happens, man. It's CS. One day you'll be winning everything. The next day you'll lose a few things. Like you'll be in a week-long rut where you just lose, and that's just the way of the game. It's just how it works.
It's happened to every big team too. I mean, Virtus Pro, they had to qualify to go to that tournament.
Oh yeah.
They weren't invited. They had to qualify to do that, and then they shocked everybody by making it to the finals and then beating NIP. And people to say like, I know a lot of people have been like, NIP is playing like shit lately. Well, you know what? They might have lost to Fnatic at DreamHack, and they might have lost to Virtus Pro at the EMS Katowice tournament. But you know what? They got second at both of those tournaments. How are people saying that they're in a slump? I don't get it.
And they are still winning money, and
yeah, I'm sorry, they're still winning bigger prize pots than any 1.6 tournament that ever happened in the history of 1.6. Like, let's be real here. They're still doing fine, But I will say, Steel, with you playing the international scene over there in Europe, your opinion. Who has the best aim?
iBUYPOWER. Oh.
I wasn't going to say best team, but I like where your head's at there. Who's got the best aim in the world right now?
Dude, Forest is sick.
So you're going with Forest on this one?
What about you, Warren?
It's Forest and Shoxy for me.
I was going to say Shoxy, man. Especially in the last couple of matches I've watched of Titan. He has been absolutely filthy. Absolutely filthy. Like dropping 30s. Like just nasty. But I would say Forest is the most consistent. But when Shoxy is on, nobody in the world can stop him.
He's good. I need to shoot and watch, play practice with my squad.
Sure,
but I thought you were going to say watch Game of Thrones.
Well, I have to do that as well, but that's going to happen after prac, because that's my dessert, that's my treat. But I thank you guys for inviting me on for the interview.
Absolutely,
for
man. We'll be
coming
happy
on.
to have you back anytime.
Great, and remember to follow on Twitter and shit, like at iBuyPower.
Plug your stuff. Go ahead.
I'm at Josh Nissen, at iBuyPower, at GoDays, at Skadoodle or something, at GoAZK or something. Go at IBP Swag. Cool.
There you go. And you want to plug your stream as well?
Yeah, fuck it. Steel_TV on Twitch.
There you go. Follow him.
Cool.
Josh Steele in the Sand joining us, guys. Thank you so much for coming out, man.
Thanks,
Definitely
boys.
appreciate your
Catch
time.
you later.
Dboorn,
Absolutely.
we'll give you the same chance when you take
Nice.
it off.
I have no social media connections.
Make it up. Make it up.
Buddy me on ESEA.
Yeah. Add to
Friend
my-
me on Facebook.
Yeah, tonight was fun. I mean, we had a
Definitely.
Dboorn shot. You sound like a natural color commentator when Hayno had to take off.
First time
took right
ever.
over. Yeah,
You did good, man. You did a good job. So I
I mean,
definitely
it helps
appreciate
that
the
you
support.
happen to be at the top of the fucking game right now, but
Right.
still, it's
I don't know. I've had shot him a couple of times.
headshot him a couple times. It reminds me of
Only-
somebody saying that they pugged with nothing. It's like, oh, I killed him once. That must mean I'm good.
Man, I had to play nothing on land. I think it was when you were on the team, dboorn, at X3O, man.
Yep.
God, that sucked. My claim to fame was I 4K'd you guys in the knife round.
There you go.
And then we
Silver
took
linings.
T-side on Dust 2. We took T-side on Dust 2. The only round we won, because we got 16-1, the only round we won was my 4K AK round. Every other round we lost. And I still remember because you guys had Evolution on the team at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I running one digged him through long DD while he was opping. It was the sickest shit ever. And I know, like, I heard him scream afterwards. It pissed him off so bad. It was funny as hell. Yeah, man, good times. I miss X3O, dude.
Yeah, just local lands in general.
Yeah, definitely. Whereabouts are the members of your team located? Because the Philadelphia land, the second one is coming up here in June, and then the Las Vegas land in July. So I didn't know if you guys
upstate
were.
New York one about a month after that.
Yeah, so there's going to be a couple of East Coast lands coming up, man. You should bring the team out.
Yeah, there's a string of a lot of lands together, like the SoCal and then Vegas, obviously, and then whatever comes of that Austin, Texas tournament, and then Philadelphia, and then obviously ESEA land. But my team's like scattered everywhere. I think Shroud's from somewhere in Canada. I want to say Ontario. Not entirely sure. Icy's from Minnesota. Irakanji's South Carolina. I'm in Kentucky, and then Minikur's in New York right now.
So it'd totally be doable with your sponsorship, right? You guys are sponsored.
Currently not.
Oh, well, there you go, guys. Anybody listening who wants to sponsor an ESEA Invite team, shoot Derek dboorn a message. But I'm getting messages from ASIM saying that people can't get their skins until we get the stream, so we need to wrap this one up.
Yeah, I just want to ask for a quick. Speaking of Shroud, how is that? Has that like lit a fight? You guys are undefeated, or not undefeated, but you're four wins in a row, correct?
Right.
I mean, how many matches have you had Shroud on?
I think 2 of them.
How has having him join the squad, helped? Has it given you guys momentum, like even more momentum? I mean, like I talked to you about it for a little bit, saying that Shroud is, and Megaman could say the same thing. Actually, I kind of got the idea from him that Shroud, he's such a good player, but on Exertus he was lacking that leadership that he needed in order to, use him to his best advantage.
Guidance. They didn't know how to put him in a role that's going to best promote his abilities because he is a fragger. He doesn't necessarily have the best in-game sense, but he is a raw fragger. And there is a role for that on every single team. And I'm sure, because I imagine your Kanji is still leading you guys. Drew's leading you guys, right? In-game leader?
Right, of course.
I'm sure with Drew's experience that he shouldn't have much of a problem figuring out what and where to put Shroud on maps.
No, I mean, I agree entirely. I mean, his raw talent is insane. He just obviously hasn't, been playing top CS maybe ever. I don't think he's ever played top CS. Obviously, I mean, Exertus, for this season. But as far as raw talent goes, you can't teach talent. I can teach someone how to play CS, but I can't teach just raw talent. Like, nothing has like insane raw talent, and obviously he's acquired game sense throughout the years as well. And couple that together, and he's an insane player. So, I mean, that's our goal, obviously. To at least mold him and teach him other things to make him a complete player. Because in CS you don't want to always rely on talent because it's inconsistent. It's off. I mean, you want to use it as something to fall back on.
Gotcha. Well, there you go.
All right.
All right, yeah, we're ready.
There you guys have it. Thank you for watching GoRGN TV. Match was brought to you by David Media and Destiny Servers. Our caster, we had Megaman in here
Whoop,
with
whoop.
Derek Bourne as an Invite Insight. You guys can go get your skins now. Have a good night.
All right. Thanks again for joining us, Derek. For all
Not a
of us
problem,
here
boys.
at RGN TV, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We had over 3,000 viewers. We definitely appreciate that. And my name is Megaman_TS on ESEA. Look me up if you feel so inclined. Throw me some karma. I definitely wouldn't be opposed to that. And for David Asim and Derek dboorn, you guys have a fantastic evening.